Hey, you guys, this is Rashana for News, Views, and Conversations. It's been a minute. I've been gathering information, trying to see what parts I want to hit on first. I got quite a little bit that I want to read to you guys tonight. I know you guys have all heard about the Epstein files, all what's been going on, just all types of stuff. Let's see where I want to start off first with what I want to hit on, and then after that, I'm gonna like just read some of the stuff that I was able to just pull up. Um, what we have so far is what we're getting from the Epstein files. They're still trying to say some things have not been proven exactly, but we're here at this point. A lot of the things that have been said allegedly, conspiracy theory, because we do have the Epstein files, we can pretty much say that yes, a lot of things are being validated. So that's where we're at. So, but I still want to hit on some things because we got a lot of outer limit stuff going on, Twilight Zone stuff going on, Night of the Living Deletion Dead going on. Pretty much like everything that they've been talking about in the movies, what we've seen in the movies. It looks like we're here. We got Get Out going on. We got the Island of Dr. Maru going on. Yeah, we are the movie now. We are sci-fi now. We've been sci-fi. You might as well say at this point they've been living amongst us. People just didn't really want to believe some of the stuff that I've been hearing that's coming out. It's still a lot to fathom, but I've always heard stories. Uh, my grandmother, she raised me, so she was early. And that's what they're saying about us people that are like conspiracy theorists. I'm good for good conspiracy theory, but yeah, they've been saying that we are conspiracy theorists. No, we're just early. We've been early. My grandmother was early. So everything that's coming out is in the Epstein files from what they've given us. I think they've released like 3 million files so far, emails or whatever, and they're trying to hold the rest back. At this point, it just looks like everybody's corrupt. The entire system, uh, from what Pam Bundy even said herself, if they release everything, if they tell everything, it's going to crash the system. So that means they're trying to stay in power. As evil as they are, as evil as we understand them to be, they are still set on trying to stay in power pretty much. Um, I'm getting information as far as what has taken place. This took place biblically, and they are still existing the same now in our time. I'm getting information as far as Nephilim, fallen angels, and they call them hybrids because they have mixed with humans. So they've mixed with humans as far as mating, is what I mean. So that pretty much means if there's any baby eating going on, human eating going on, this is why. And I'm also getting information as far as rituals, demonic worshiping, devil worshiping. And this is why we're getting the information that we're getting as far as them eating babies, eating humans, cannibalism. That's where we're going with this. Um, so from sexual assault to young women, babies, the youngest victims that I've been hearing about, uh, between 2 and 3. They're even saying things as far as they do good to even probably live to be 3 years old. I'm getting information as far as them actually plucking the baby's teeth out. And I guess if they have a baby farm, whatever this thing is with Epstein, they're plucking the baby's teeth out, and they've already recorded the mother's voice. So if they want the baby to suck harder, you heard me correctly, suck harder, they can actually play the mother's voice for the baby to suck harder. And they actually showed like some pictures where they even had like a dental facility. So it's a lot going on. down to saying that the baby's intestines taste like cream cheese. It's a lot to take in because it's like, can't imagine a 2-year-old baby, 3-year-old, one being put in this kind of a situation. But it does make sense to me because that's what the devil wants. He wants God's innocent. That's the whole goal, is to um, pretty much mess up whatever God's creation is, God's system, his natural order of things, how God wants things to be. That's the devil's goal, to trash it, sabotage it, even down to the babies, even down to the children. Um, from what I'm understanding, when they weren't, well, I'm sure why they were doing what they were doing with the kids, white children, from what I'm seeing. Now, we heard before they said they didn't want black women. Well, I'm hearing, information as far as them hunting black people. So that means you had two things going on at the same time. It looks like there is no slavery, but if you're doing this to children, women, teens, older women, babies, whatever, you're hunting black people. So that takes us to a place of all the missing people, that have, come up missing. I mean, I would go so far as to say, what happened to all the children in the Atlanta child murders? Smurders, can't say certain words on YouTube, but yeah, what happened to them? That was supposed to be Dwayne Williams. With all this information coming out at this point, the Atlanta child murders, anyone that's gone missing, any missing children, any missing men, any missing women. I've heard stories. There was a story, it's been some time ago, this black guy, he went to Vegas. I guess he's supposed to be going to California to, act, be in movies, whatever. They found him in the desert with his organs missing. And the young man in Augusta, Georgia, I think his name is Kendrick. I forgot his name. His parents are still trying to find out what happened to him when he was rolled up in a mat with his organs missing. And they're saying they don't know. So any of these stories, as far as missing people, organs missing, so organ harvesting is going on there, sex trafficking, all these different things. I mean, that means now we know where everyone is now. So all this little fake, you know, uh, like marketing things, them saying we're looking for these people. Well, you just told us what you did with them if all this is coming out in Epstein files. That's why I waited before I went, because just by looking at the pictures, from what I could see, it just looked eerie to me. It looked dark. From a spiritual eye, which is what I have, when I see stuff, it just looked dark to me. It looked very dark spiritually before even like getting the information that I've gotten. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I mean, if you're eating babies, people, or whatever, this is a lot. But it makes me think. I'm really just tying it all in for myself, my views, what I think. That's why this show is called News, Views, and Conversations. I'm giving you the news and I'm giving you my views, and we're having a conversation about what does all this mean when we tie it all in together. It's just like, if you're allowing these things to happen to children, that explains the school shootings that you're not trying to stop. To me, that's how I see it. You're not trying to stop school shootings. You're not trying to stop anything that's going to end up getting rid of people. And I do know that, they want to have a certain population of people here on Earth anyway. They want to decide that, again, as they're always trying to police the world. White supremacy, Nephilim, fallen angels, whatever these things are, these its, hybrids, whatever. We're dealing with darkness at this point. They're just in human form, but spiritual wise, we're dealing with darkness. That's what all this stuff boils down to me. Um, I've even heard stories thus far as asking questions as far as we don't have a lot of graves. So they're basically saying, where's all this meat coming from? Pretty much saying, if he's been doing cannibalism, Epstein and friends, they got the celebrities all up in this thing, the government all up in this thing. That's what this is. If there's not a lot of graves, where's all the meat coming from? They're pretty much trying to say that the meats that we're getting from McDonald's, Burger King, any of the fast food spots, everything needs to be questioned, is what they're trying to say. Saying if there's not enough cows, if there's not enough cattle, chickens, or whatever, they're saying we are a part of it, but we don't know it. Feeding us other humans is what they're trying to say. So this stuff is a lot. But to me, how I wrap it up all into one, all of this barbaric, animalistic stuff that we're hearing about in the Epstein files is, to me, it's the same as it was during slavery, like all the grotesque stuff that they did then. Um, ripping the pregnant mother's body apart, stomping out her baby, feeding it to the alligators, using our skin to make shoes or whatever they want to try to, create or whatever. They've always been barbaric. They've always been animalistic. So all this stuff that I just mentioned, I mean, they have been this way, but now we're getting the information to confirm what we heard, went and researched for ourselves, or talked to somebody about, asking questions. It's all being confirmed. It's all being confirmed. I mean, when I look at slavery, all the grotesque things they did, okay, like how they slept with babies, all the sex trafficking, all the sexual assaults or whatever, they were doing that to the men when they were doing the book breaking, sleeping with the women, I'm sure sleeping with their children as well. So they never stopped. This is who they have been. This is the culture of the ones that are, I would say, white supremacists and whatever the Nephilim they're mixed with, hybrid, whatever, with humans. This is their lineage. But we understand we have decent white folks. They don't partake in this kind of foolishness. I mean, this is really some sick stuff. As I always say, they don't have a filter. And I've always called it, they're like barbaric savages. They're animalistic. This is some animalistic stuff that we're, finding out about as we, dig deeper into the Epstein files. And that's pretty much what they're saying, that these guys were doing rituals, demonic stuff. It was a reason why they were, uh, you know, eating the babies for them to stay younger. Uh, their whole everything is supposed to strengthen them and make them younger, which makes me think, is this why? Of course, I know you guys have already heard they've started the war in Iran, which is not a good thing. You're sending the young. If you're paying attention to this stuff, you're sending the young to fight, but you're preserving the old. Down to her saying, "Oh, if we say everything, we tell everything about what's in the Epstein files, it's going to crash the system." So that means they want to still exist. They don't want to stop. They have no plans on stopping. If you notice in other countries, they are arresting, other people that have, committed crimes. Uh, Prince Andrew, Prince Charles's brother, over in the UK, I believe, he's been arrested, but I'm thinking he's probably returned back home, of course. We know how that goes. The president of South Korea, I think he is being sentenced to life because he tried to overthrow the government. He's going to be in there forever. So we're watching all these other countries reprimand, other people that are a part of the Epstein files in other countries, but the main guy is in the White House. He has not been touched. And from what we're understanding, they're doing everything they can to stop us from finding out the rest. That's why the whole war has started pretty much with Iran, to the point where you're supposed to be in talks with, them about nuclear weapons. But before you guys can even finish talking or being in talks with them about nuclear weapons, next thing you know, you set it off. Next thing you know, we're in a war. And people are in Dubai and other countries trying to get back to the United States. And last I heard, some people have made it back. Before then, I heard that a lot of people hadn't made it back and they were not even helping them, giving them some number to call and a number saying, we can't help you, da 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 da. So it's a big mess. But all of this to stop us from finding out everything that I just said. So just a few things that I wanted to, read over as far as just certain terminologies that I thought that were interesting from what I've heard and different things that we need to check out to research, to educate ourselves and find out what in the sci-fi, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits is going on here. Because like I said earlier, at this point, we are the movie. That's where this is headed. We are the movie. They've been putting it in all the movies. And now it's like, oh my God. So they really do eat brains. Like Night of the Living Dead, they really do eat brains. The movie Get Out, where the black guy was dating the white girl, he's thinking she's interested in him. Next thing you know, they're trying to knock him off, unalive him, get rid of him because they wanted his brain, his eyes, or whatever he had, his DNA, because our DNA is a total different thing than everyone else's. And I believe of course, they know that. And that is an interest to them. I've seen all types of different things on social media as well, as far as I'm trying to buy our eggs, Black women. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. Like I said, this is like the island of Dr. Maru, to the point where I'm even hearing information about them trying to create their own being. And I saw one picture where I don't know what that was. It looked human, but it looked like something else. So they got a lot going on. I want to first start off with giving you a little information on the Book of Enoch. You get a chance, go check that out. I'm not going to stop here. I got a lot more digging to do, even if I don't do every show and everything, because some stuff you don't want to go too deep because they are watching, they are listening, and sometimes it's not good to tell everything that you know. So that's why I encourage everyone to go research for yourself, go see what I'm talking about, check behind me, as I always say, so that way you know for yourself. So I'm going to read you a couple of the terminologies that I pulled up that I think that will be helpful as we continue to investigate, understand what's going on with Epstein files and how this is about to reshape our world, knowing what has been going on up under our nose, but people didn't want to go look and see. So definitely get a chance to go and check everything out. First, I want to start with the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish apocalyptic text attributed to Noah's great-grandfather that details fallen angels called watchers, their offspring, the giants, which were considered Nephilim, cosmic journeys, divine judgment, and prophecies of the Messiah, serving as a commentary on Genesis, but excluded from most biblical canons. It's not in the Bible. It was. They removed it out of the Bible. So there's only the New Testament and the Old Testament. That's all we have. We have Old Testament and the New Testament. So they took the Book of Enoch out. My opinion now that we're finding out all this stuff, what's in here is now talking about what's going on now. And I believe it was removed to keep us from getting the information we have now, and yet and still, we're still finding out. So now people are looking for the Book of Enoch to find out what is happening, what's going on here. The Book of Enoch, it explores themes of sin, righteousness, heavenly secrets, cosmology, calendars, astronomy, and the ultimate triumph of good, influencing early Christian thought, but preserved fully by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So they're saying that this book is Ethiopian. Do your research, guys, do your research. The Book of Enoch is divided into 5 main sections. The Book of the Watchers, detailing fallen angels and judgment. The Book of Parables or Similitudes, featuring messianic prophecies. The astronomical book explaining celestial movements. The Book of Dreams, an apocalyptic history of Israel. Animal apocalypse. And the Epistle of Enoch contains woes and teachings for the righteous and the wicked. These sections cover themes of fallen angels, divine judgment, cosmology, and end times prophecy. The Book of Enoch is traditionally attributed to the biblical patriarch Enoch, Noah's great grandfather, but scholars agree it is a composite work by multiple authors from different periods, written between roughly 300 BCE and 100 CE, not by Enoch himself. It's an ancient Jewish apocalyptic text containing prophetic visions and traditions about angels, demons, and the flood, with sections drawn from various traditions. They're trying to say the book is inauthentic. They're trying to say that, but I believe there's more to the story. Like I said, that is why we are here. I want to talk about cloning, which is why I said whatever that was that I saw in picture, it looked half human and it looked like something off the movie, like I said, The Doctor of Alan Moreau, the movie of The Island of Dr. Moreau. So it looked like something like that. Like in that movie, they were taking human DNA, mixing it with animal DNA, and they were god awful. But what I saw in the pictures, it looked like something just, like it was supposed to form into a human, but it didn't complete the rest of forming into a human. It was just, it looks like something human, but it's blah, whatever that was. So Jeffrey Epstein's seeding plans. Reports indicate that Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted SMEX offender, had a long-term, unorthodox, and highly criticized ambition to seed the human race with his own DNA. Epstein spoke to scientists and associates about using his New Mexico ranch as a base to impregnate 20 women at a time. So he had transhumanism interest. These plans were linked to his interest in transhumanism and, according to critics, a form of eugenics. Trump mentioned that in his election bid. So here we are, which involves attempting to improve the human population through selective breeding and genetic engineering, which is why they were saying they didn't want to be with Black women. They hunting us, but this is why they wanted to have a specific type. Okay, so they're trying to say that there's no evidence of this success, but from the pictures of what I saw, they were attempting something. They probably didn't get a chance to carry it out all the way, into fruition, but from what I saw, they're attempting something. So yeah. Genetic testing and funding. Newly released emails from 2026 indicate that Epstein funded genetic research, including participating in the Harvard Personal Genome Project and explored regenerative medicine. So these guys are on some real wild stuff here. I mean, at the end of the day, they're trying to play God. They're trying to play God. They don't want to, Paul Lance said it, they don't want to follow God. They want to be God. That's why I said earlier, everything that he created, his natural order, is like watching the devil trying to sabotage and destroy God's natural order. But we already know that's not going to happen. But we're seeing what the devil is capable of. Right now, he's been capable. He's never stopped. People have just been like, head in the sky. You want to believe everything is everything, and it hasn't been. It's in our face. It's been in our face. But people want to live their lives and think about the lighter things instead of course, the darker things. And that's why we're here. So this is what I'm understanding as far as like what he was trying to do. Scientific cloning of Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. In the context of molecular biology and virology, the term refers to the laboratory technique of creating clones of the Epstein-Barr virus genome, not cloning humans. The purpose: scientists cloned the EBV genome to study its structure, behavior, and to develop vaccines or treatments for associated diseases. All right, so I know you guys have heard about they staged the COVID to keep us from finding this out. That was a whole big blow up about that. One other thing, I actually heard that he actually supposedly, allegedly, don't have proof on that, but this is what I'm hearing. Don't know how true that is. Possibly that his DNA was in the COVID um, uh, uh, vaccines, allegedly. Just saying allegedly. Um, but I remember, and I mentioned this on one of my other videos, probably when I first started doing news views and conversations. I was scrolling as I always am, and in the beginning, when COVID first hit, there was this guy on there. He was showing like all the legal court documentation, showing all the different celebrities' names that were in the court documentation when they were coming after for Smith's assault, all the things that we understand now, what they've been doing. And they had this lady even come on there saying, like, this is why they just put this virus out. They're trying to keep from being found out. Well, now that's what's coming out. Uh, Bill Gates and a couple other people actually came out and said, yeah, this happened. They actually created this to happen because they did not want to be found out. So I was like, oh my God. So when people keep saying whatever they see on social media, I know you can't believe everything that you read, but I'm really hoping that a lot of people, from the information we've been getting, I'm hoping people go and look for themselves and really turn on that spiritual man on the inside of you to be able to pick up if something is valid or not. Because they for so long called us conspiracy theorists, and now everything that we've been talking about is being validated. It's quiet. I don't even hear the word conspiracy theory anymore because here we are dealing with it. It's being confirmed. Now, the part about um, his DNA being in the actual vaccine, I can't confirm. That's just what I heard. But as far as the video that I did see on social media, uh, is true. They've even come out to, pretty much say, yeah, it's true. They did this because they were trying to keep from being exposed. And so here we are. We're here. So they're saying researchers have used bacterial artificial chromosomes to clone the large DNA genome of the Epstein-Barr virus in E. coli host. Various studies have successfully mapped and cloned fragments of the B958 strain of EBV, as well as constructed complete viral genomes for research purposes. So again, based on what we understand at this point, none of this stuff has gotten a chance to come to fruition, but it sounds like this is the direction that supposedly he was heading. And all I can say is from the picture that I saw, I could see where they were heading, and it like a big blob of a person, a big mess. And honestly, I mean, I've even seen like pictures floating around saying that he could possibly be in Israel or something like that. That's allegedly. We don't know. But at this point, just from someone being this rich, being this connected to all the high profile people, whether they were in government, entertainment, whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he is alive. He knew too much. And I mean, it's just so funny how he's actually in the White House. They let this guy run again. I mean, it's like, okay, did you let him back in to protect himself and to protect everybody else? Because clearly, if he tells on himself, that's the whole cabal. That's everybody. That's everyone. I wanted to read you the information on the adrenochrome. This has to do with the children. Adrenochrome. The alleged connection between adrenochrome and Jeffrey Epstein is widely debunked. They're trying to say it's debunked. I'm just going to read you what they have here. It's widely debunked conspiracy theory with no basis. They're trying to say it has no basis. I beg to differ, though. Adrenochrome is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, but claims it is a harvested elixir linked to elite abuse. They're trying to say it's fictitious, but I beg to differ. And they're trying to say that it's discredited. pretty much like taking, I guess, like when they torture the children and by them being young and they take their blood from them, it's supposed to keep them younger and keep them, and I guess keep them younger, make them live longer. It's really twisted as far as like the whole explanation of it, as far as taking from the young for them to have a younger life force. It's deep. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. And so they're, like I said before, they're trying to say that this stuff is not true. Proponents falsely claim a cabal of elites, often linking to figures like Jeffrey Epstein, harvested this substance from children for longevity and psychoactive effects. So trying to have their life force to sustain themselves. This is some crazy stuff. One other thing I did want to mention, they actually put Life Touch in this. So any of us kids that went to school and all my pictures were taken by Life Touch. They're pretty much saying that they have all our information pretty much down to the furniture store. They got children's furniture. You can see that in the pictures as well for children. Uh, a lot of the places where we shop. I mean, Disney has been brought up several times. Nickelodeon has been brought up several times. A lot of the modeling agencies have been brought up several times, basically saying they're all in this. Like I said, they've been doing what they've been doing for a long time, and now because of the Epstein files, everything is coming out. Everything's coming out. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. So they've also been saying, so we got through the Book of Enoch, cloning, Adrenochrome. Now, who they're worshiping. I have so much work to go do. It's not even funny. Baal, meaning Lord or Master in Semitic languages. They're saying he was a prominent Canaanite. So, fertility and storm deity worshipped throughout the ancient Middle East as the son of El. He was revered as the sustainer of crops and life, often depicted with a lightning bolt and central to myths involving battles against death and chaos. They're saying his role in the Bible, Baal is frequently depicted in the Old Testament as a false god and rival to God, the real God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Yahweh, often enticing the Israelites into apostasy in the stories of Ahab, Jezebel, and Elijah. So that's what they say that they have been worshiping. I think that was one of Jeffrey Epstein's passwords, Baal. And I think right before the war kicked off in Iran, they were burning a statue, a gold statue with like horns that was in the that pretty much looked like the 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 character Baal pretty much, and they burned him because he's evil from what they're saying. This is who Jeffrey Epstein has been worshiping. Baal worship involved altars often located on high places and included sacrifices of cattle and lambs. Ritualistic elements. Worship was known for its sensual, fertility focused rituals, which sometimes included ritualistic prostitution in temples. Smeksh, drinking blood, sacrifices, eating people. Yeah, I mean, what we're finding out is the world is as wicked as God has been saying that it is, and we didn't want to believe it. And it's been going on before our time, and it's still happening in our time. The devil hasn't gone anywhere. That's why everybody's bouncing off walls and all this stuff is happening as we speak. Extreme sacrifice. In dire circumstances, Baal worship involved the sacrifice of firstborn children to appease his wrath. That's what I'm trying to tie all this in to try to make it make sense. So they're saying the word Baal, the origin and legacy of it. The term originated as a generic Semitic word for the owner or lord. The deity Baal is considered a fusion of regional Semitic gods with the Mesopotamian storm god Hadad. He represented the creative and destructive forces of nature. In the Bible, Baal is portrayed as a major spiritual threat to Israelite monotheisms, ultimately being demonized in a later religious tradition, Beelzebub. Now we're going to talk about Moloch. And that'll probably be it as far as like what I want to hit on as far as all this Epstein stuff. I guess I need to go and dig up some emails and try to put that with what we're talking about here, but this is what I've been hearing to go along with some of what I've seen so far. Like I said before, I got into anything Epstein, just from seeing the pictures, it just looks like dark. Spiritually, that's what I see when I see those pictures. It looks darkness. The children, just seeing the kids there and them not knowing what's about to happen to them, I see darkness. These are old men, old demonic men, and this is what they're doing to children. If the children aren't safe, no one is safe. I mean, that's like, you can do that to kids. What are you doing to the adults? So it's a lot to take in. In the Bible, in the Bible, we're going to talk about Moloch now. In the Bible, Moloch refers to a Canaanite deity or a specific apparent practice of child sacrifice, passing children through fire, associated with Ammonite worship condemned by God in the Old Testament, often portrayed as a bull-headed idol, though scholars debate if Moloch meant the god or act of sacrifice. Everybody got questions. The most common association is the horrific practice where parents would offer their children as burnt offerings to this deity, a practice explicitly forbidden and condemned by God in Leviticus chapter 18, verse 21, chapter 20, verse 2 through 5, and 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 7. Ammonite deity. The Bible links Moloch with the Ammonites, often mentioning it alongside other pagan gods like Chemosh, as a deity that King Solomon and later King Manasseh led Israel to worship. So it's pretty much a debate over his identity. Some scholars believe Moloch isn't a specific god, but a term for a type of sacrifice from the Hebrew meaning to sacrifice, while others argue it was indeed a god, perhaps a form of Baal. So they're like, because if you're saying he had horns, now you're saying this one has horns, so it's like you're bringing them together some type of way. Perhaps a form of Baal or distinct deity. So they're similar, it sounds like. Sometimes depicted as a bronze idol with a bull's head and fiery hands. So whatever that was they burnt before they went set it off with the war, they were burning something in the form of Baal or Moloch. It was one or the other. But it sounds like they were similar from what I'm getting from the information that I pulled. They're saying that Moloch is a symbol of idolatry. For the Israelites, Moloch became a potent symbol of extreme idolatry and the ultimate rejection of God, leading to severe divine judgment. In essence, Moloch represents a dark, forbidden worship involving the sacrifice of children, deeply condemned within Israelite scripture. So it sounds like they're one and the same. It sounds like they are one and the same. That's just pretty much information that I've been getting from the Epstein files, like what's going on, what we're talking about, what they have released to us. That's only 3 million. We still don't have the rest. I just want to bring you a little bit of the things that piqued my curiosity as and what I want to go pull up and look up and see. And I got to see which video I'm going to attach to this because I really want you guys to dig deep. Do your own research. Don't just listen to my video and other videos. Go and dig for yourself to see what we are dealing with. And we really got to stay prayed up and do everything we can to protect ourselves spiritually because this is some dark stuff. Anytime we're dealing with demonic stuff in the physical. We're sitting here reading this information, taking it in. You gotta stay up, gotta stay prayed up and stay protected because the devil does not like to be talked about. Quick little story. When I was doing my book, The Narcissistic Game, he did everything he could to keep that book from coming to fruition, down to getting rid of my USB thumb drive, getting rid of some things that I had put in the book. He does not like to be discussed. Perfect example, the Orange Man in the White House. To keep from being discussed, to keep from finding out about the Epstein files, he started a war to keep us from talking about him. This is why we are here. The devil does not like to be talked about. And if it means he has to destroy children, blow up schools, do whatever he has to do to start a war, he will do just that to keep us from discussing him. The devil does not like shame. He does not like to be talked about. He does not want to be discussed. So that's why I say we got to stay prayed up, stay into pray, study, and watch, and get this information. People say, well, we don't want to talk about those things. We don't want to know about those things. Well, if you don't know what the devil is doing, how are you going to know how to fight him? How are you going to know what to fight against? So we're supposed to put on the whole armor of God, right? The whole armor of God, and know what God wants us to know, discerning, and to know how to battle these entities because they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere until God does the rest of what it takes to get rid of them, of course. But they're not going anywhere. So you can't be ignorant. You cannot be not in the know and want to stay surface level. No, you got to go deeper because that's why some of us people they call conspiracy theorists. No, we were early. We've been picking up and seeing what was going on and reading between the lines where other people like, you don't have proof. You don't have to have proof when you're spiritual. You know things before they actually take shape. You know things before they take place. A lot of people, they probably pick up on stuff, but they want to be in denial. And when things happen to them, oh my God, I had a sense of this and that, but you didn't listen. You didn't follow the discerning spirit that God told you. You ignored him, and then boom, you found out later. So yeah, so all this stuff is important to know. Dig deep, stay prayed up, and look for yourself. Go and see. Like I said, don't take my word and any other videos that you see, take their word. Go and study and show yourself approved, pretty much. And that's what I believe in doing. So, but yeah, want to get you this information. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one.
Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Healthy. Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. Sending you all tons of good ass energy. Take that, take that, take that. The cat down the road said, you got it. Look, have you heard of the Book of Enoch, deep divers? Look, the Book of Enoch is a collection of Jewish apocalyptic texts which date back to 300 BCE to 100 BCE. And Enoch is the great grandfather of Noah. And the reason why I'm making this video, because we're going to talk about why the Book of Enoch was removed. This information right here, deep divers, is not only going to blow your mind, it's going to inspire you to become your greatest version. I'm also going to tie in Epstein because I'm going to play you a video and I'm going to make the link because this woman is talking about it. She's really diving deep. Oh, deep divers. Hit the like button if you support the real. Hit the like button if you support the real because we got a whole lot to talk about. And I'm going to tell you 10 shocking revelations about the Book of Enoch and how it relates to what is going on right now on the planet. Deep divers. Look, if you are watching this video, shout out to everyone who's got the best-selling book Feel Alive and the brand new book Feel Alive 2. Unlock your infinite power. Their secret recipe to becoming your greatest version is now available on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. Click the link down below, deep divers, and join the brand new Patreon page, deep divers. Over 250 videos exclusively to Patreon click the link down below. And of course, go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts. All new designs you're going to love. ralphsmart.com/clothes. Click the link down below. Shout out to Nas. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. It runs deep like the words in my breath. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. And deep divers. A lot of people don't realize why the world is the way it is. And you will always be baffled unless you realize that it's got everything to do with the past and humanity's history, early history. And the book of Enoch really is fascinating. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? So let me play you the video I actually heard. And this is going to blow your mind. Take a listen to this. Then I'm going to talk about the 10 shocking revelations about the book of Enoch. And the book of Enoch is actually in the Ethiopian church, divinely inspired. Take a listen to this first. Let's go.
So here's the truth that they're not telling you about the files. These people aren't people. They're not humans. They're Nephilim. The elite of this world are the fallen angels, and the next level down below them, which is probably all of Hollywood, they're all Nephilim. They're all a mixed DNA of human and fallen angels. The end times will be as in the days of Noah. So shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. What was happening in the days of Noah? We have been misled into believing this little picture that we were taught in Sunday school about the flood. We are told that God flooded the earth because people were eating and drinking and giving in marriage. And so we are given this picture of people just eating a bunch of food until they're fat, and then drinking a bunch of alcohol and partying, and getting married, like marrying whoever they want to, and just maybe promiscuity. I don't know. That is not the case. There were Nephilim and giants in the days of Noah, and they were eating human flesh, they were drinking human blood, and they were marrying different species together, creating hybrids. Satan's plan was to eradicate mankind so that the Messiah could never be born, because Satan knew that the Messiah had to be born of a human. And so Satan was trying to get rid of humans by outbreeding them, like interbreeding. That's when the fallen angels came down. They raped the human women and created the giants. But it wasn't just that simple. It was an entire plan to get rid of humans so that Jesus would never be born. When it says that Noah was perfect in his generations, he wasn't a perfect man. He was perfect in his DNA. He was human. He hadn't been tainted with. His family's bloodline had not been tainted with fallen angels. And so Noah was human. That's why he got to escape the flood. There are so many times in the Old Testament when God instructs someone to wipe out an entire nation, men, women, and children. Those weren't humans. They were Nephilim. They were hybrids that eat people. They eat babies. So that's the secret in the files that they don't want you to know, is that these are the modern day Nephilim. That's why they eat babies and drink their blood.
Let me stop it right there. Let me stop it right there. So she was really diving deep. And once again, deep divers, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, right? But you have to remind yourself that there is so much that humanity doesn't know about, and is found in ancient texts, right? And the book of Enoch really is, in my mind, a part of humanity's lost history. It has to be studied, because just like what that woman was saying, you have people who control this entire world. Most human beings are slaves, batteries to this entity, right? And you have very powerful people, and they do terrible things. Why? Well, the book of Enoch really talks about why. So I'm going to give you the 10 shocking revelations in the book of Enoch. Are you ready? Are you ready, deep divers? Look, let's talk about the first one. Angels took human wives, the watchers, heavenly beings, descended to earth and chose human women. This is Enoch 6:1-2. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. So, angels took human wives. When you start to realize how deep the rabbit hole goes, that human beings, you got some hybrid humans out there who have bred with other entities, and it's all about bloodlines. And that's the reason why once you know this information, it all starts to make sense. What is the second revelation in the book of Enoch? Okay. Giants devoured humanity. The offspring of the Watchers were massive giants who consumed all human resources and eventually turned on humanity. I told you, there is a spiritual warfare happening right now on the planet, but you don't hear me though. We don't even realize that we're in a world full of many different frequencies and vibrations and entities, and once upon a time there were giants who walked on this planet. So giants devoured humanity. This is huge. What is the third shocking revelation? Forbidden knowledge was taught. The Watchers shared forbidden knowledge with humans, including weapons, astrology, enchantments, and secret wisdom. Enoch 8:1-3. Azazel taught humans warfare and the art of weapons. Other Watchers taught astrology, enchantments, and all kinds of secret knowledge. We sometimes got to ask ourselves, where did all of this technology come from? Where did all of this technology come from? AI. It's because they're getting information from other beings. Deep divers, what's the fourth revelation about the book of Enoch? Azazel is bound. The fallen angel Azazel is bound and cast into darkness until the final judgment. Now, Azazel is really the leader of the Watchers, the fallen angels, okay? What is the fifth revelation that's going to blow your mind? Archangels intercede. The archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, plead to God on behalf of humanity because of the destruction caused by the Watchers. Sometimes we wonder why. What's going on in Israel and Palestine? All of these things, all of these wars happening. It's because wars have been happening since the start of time on this planet of human life. Human beings have been under attack by other beings who have bred with human beings. That's the reason why you've got different bloodlines. That's the reason why you have people who worship different gods. Deep divers. What is the sixth shocking revelation about the book of Enoch? Okay? It is this. detailed realms of the afterlife. Enoch is shown the separate realms for the righteous and the wicked, detailing a structured afterlife. Now check this out. Check this out, deep divers. Enoch 22:9-13. And I saw a place of punishment, a prison, and a place of blessing. The souls of the righteous and the sinners are kept in separate compartments until the day of judgment. Oh, did you watch Sinners? Oh yeah, deep divers. You got a whole lot of sinners here, and you got the righteous. Pay attention. What is the seventh shocking revelation in the book of Enoch? Now, take into consideration that the book of Enoch predates Genesis. Now, number 7 is pre-existent Son of Man. Okay? A hidden pre-existent figure known as the Son of Man will play a key role in final judgment. So Enoch 48:2-6, behold, the Son of Man was hidden before the creation of the world, and the righteous and the mighty will be entrusted to him at the time of judgment. Right? That's prophetic. That is prophetic. The book of Enoch. Okay? What is the 8th shocking revelation? Secrets of the sun and moon. Enoch is shown the paths and cycles of the sun, moon, and stars, revealing cosmic secrets and the calendar. Okay, so you got to remind yourself that the book of Enoch talks about the moon, the sun, the cycles of life. Fascinating. What is the 9th shocking revelation of the book of Enoch? Hidden storehouses. The watchers guard secret storehouses containing winds, fire, and cosmic forces until the day of judgment. So you got to remind yourself, deep divers, there is so much hidden mysteries in this world, so much hidden technology, secret storehouses, underground basements, all kind of things. They got technology 100 years from what you have right now. But you don't hear me though. Pay attention. And they've had this technology for thousands of years. Okay? And what is the 10th shocking revelation that the book of Enoch talks about? Okay. Cosmic judgment. Enoch witnesses the ultimate judgment. The wicked are cast down and the righteous are exalted. Enoch 91:12-17. And I saw the great judgment of the Lord with thousands of holy ones standing in glory. The wicked will be cast down and the righteous exalted. Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp and said, we're in the age of truth. All lies will be exposed. And you can see what's happening right now on the planet. The elite are falling. And I don't call them the elite. I call them the deceivers. Time is up. That's the reason why the Epstein files are coming out. They're already out, 3 million documents. This ties into the book of Enoch. Deep divers, I want all of you right now to hit the like button if you support the real, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That blew my mind. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? You must question everything because this stuff goes deep. Like the words in my breath. Deep divers. Study the book of Enoch. It's going to blow your mind. Infinite waters. Diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You! Once again, deep divers, smash the like button, share the video. Leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. Let me know how you found this video. One love. Peace.